Have you ever walked through a grocery store and suddenly remembered a beer you haven't seen in years? Many beer brands that were once part of backyard barbecues, fishing trips, bowling nights, and family gatherings have quietly disappeared from store shelves. Today, we're looking back at 10 American beer brands that millions of people loved, but that have faded away or become almost impossible to find. Number 10, Meister Bräu. Before light beer became a national obsession, Meister Bräu was one of the most recognizable names in American brewing. It gained popularity during the 1960s and seemed destined for a bright future, but financial troubles eventually caught up with the company. Interestingly, the recipe and rights were later sold and helped create what became Miller Lite. While the name disappeared, its legacy lives on in nearly every light beer sold today. Did you ever have a cold Meister Bräu after work? Number 9. Old Frothing Slosh. This quirky beer became famous not because it was the best beer in America, but because it had one of the funniest advertising campaigns ever created. Marketed as the pale, stale ale with the foam on the bottom, it became a cult favorite. The brand eventually vanished, but many people still remember the humorous commercials decades later. Number 8. Falstaff. At its peak, Falstaff was one of America's largest beer companies. The brand sponsored sporting events and was a familiar sight across the country, but competition from larger national brewers slowly pushed it aside. For many Americans, Falstaff was the taste of summer cookouts and neighborhood gatherings. Number 7. Schmidt Beer. Known as the brew that grew with the Great Northwest, Schmidt beer was beloved by hunters, fishermen, and outdoor enthusiasts. Its wildlife-themed advertisements became iconic. Although the brand technically still exists in limited form, it's largely disappeared from the national spotlight. Many older Americans remember seeing Schmidt's signs in cabins and bait shops. Number 6. Drury's Beer. Drury's was once advertised as the beer for people with a taste for the finer things. The brand enjoyed tremendous success after World War II. However, changing tastes and increasing competition gradually led to its decline. Today, it's mostly a memory shared by those who enjoyed America's golden age of brewing. Number 5. Rheingold. If you lived in New York during the 1950s and 1960s, you probably knew Rheingold. The company became famous for its annual Miss Rheingold competition. For years, it was one of the city's most beloved beers. But as the beer industry consolidated, Rheingold lost ground and eventually faded away. Number 4. Red, White, and Blue. This patriotic beer became especially popular during the mid-20th century. Its name alone captured the spirit of America. Many veterans and working-class families kept it stocked in their refrigerators. Though attempts have been made to revive it, it never regained its former popularity. Number 3. National Premium. National Premium was a staple in the Mid-Atlantic region for decades. Affordable, reliable, and familiar, it was a beer many people grew up seeing at family gatherings. When the brewery closed, countless loyal customers were left wondering where their favorite beer had gone. Number 2, Pearl Beer. Deeply connected to Texas culture, Pearl Beer became a symbol of the Lone Star State. For generations, Texans enjoyed it at rodeos, football games, and backyard parties. Corporate mergers eventually pushed the brand into obscurity. Many Texans still speak fondly of Pearl Beer today. Number 1, Schlitz. Few beer stories are more dramatic than Schlitz. At one point, Schlitz was the second largest beer brand in America. Then a series of production changes affected the beer's reputation. Sales collapsed, and one of America's most famous beers nearly disappeared. For many older Americans, Schlitz remains the ultimate example of a beloved brand that lost its way. These beers may be gone from most store shelves, but they live on in memories. Whether it was a beer enjoyed after a long day at work, during a fishing trip with friends, or at a family barbecue, these brands remind us of a different era in American life. Tell us in the comments, which of these beers do you remember? And what forgotten beer brand would you bring back if you could?